out of 1,000 since they've been there.
They sure have.
Terry McLaurin's under contract. He's going to be a free agent. If they don't get a deal done, he just plays, and we'll see what happens. And they have a superstar in Jaden Daniels. I'm sure part of their thinking has to be like, in another year when we have to pay him, do we want to make sure that we have all the room in the world in terms of if Terry McLaurin's still playing great, that's one thing. But if he's not, this is job 1, 2, and 3.
Mark Scott, you're shaking your head.
And here's
well, wait, I want to hear from Bart because he's shaking his head.
Because we have to be consistent. We talk about why Micah Parsons deserves his money. Right, he deserved his money because he's exceeded his contract. Like Scary Terry, the thing you talk about speaking to your locker room, don't go pay a guy like Debo to come here and give him money. And I've been here during the bad years. I've been sitting up here playing with who knows who of quarterbacks, basically playing with glorified cones with jerseys on. And then you treat me like that? No. Like just because I'm at the age of 30? What message are you sending to your locker room that way?
He's not even 30 yet.
Right, but what message are you sending?
No, I'm with you.
A good soldier.
Hey, man, I have been.
You gonna pay Debo?
Or do you pay him?
No, you
future performance.
No.
Say, I'm not paying him.
But you know what? You know what? See that's the argument that would be made. I know everyone says, "Pay the man, pay the man." Of course it is. Of course it's about future performance. No one talks about that more than me. It is about future performance. But I think sometimes, like, we try to fight this boogeyman about that 30-year-old mark.
Yeah, correct.
You know, and we sometimes kind of over-exaggerate this as if every single guy who hits 30
how's Mike Evans looking?
Is just going to drop off a cliff and he's not going to be, worthy of getting the kind of extension that pays him more in line with what guys who are producing at his level is right now. Look, I think the $30 million per year level is fair for Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
If he's not at that level, he is underpaid. It's as simple as that.
He deserves it for staying and being a good soldier, not trying to run out of town. He could have ran out of town after year 3.
He deserves it because he's still a good player.
Yeah, I would pay him, but Lou, you said this an hour ago. Like, some decisions are hard, some are easy. Paying Micah is really easy. I would pay Terry McLaurin, but there is a limit because you could find receivers, guys. Keenan Allen went back, to use your line, he was a rental of the
1 year.
But you're right. Mike, you know what? I'll just take that. I'll take that to another level. I think it's easy for me to kind of come up with a fair value for him.
Right.
Okay. But it's hard. Look, it's going to be hard to get this deal done because maybe Terry doesn't see it that way. With Micah, you're probably willing to make more concessions and really extend yourself and go, hey, look, I'll do whatever it takes. With Terry, there is a cutoff. That's what makes this a little bit different. No doubt.
I've been here.
We're going to call you blank check Bart?
No, I've been here, man. He went through the lean years, man. He went through the hard part. He didn't run.
You're talking past tense.
Right. There's a limit.
Let's go. We got plenty more.
Football is here. We have turned the page. We're in the month of August, and it's full speed ahead, except for the Commanders with Terry McLaurin, because now he's requested a trade. And you start to – these things normally work out, but at what point do you go, if you're Terry McLaurin, the point of no return? Because he wants to be paid more than $30 million. I don't know if it's $32, $33 million. He's a big reason why Jaden Daniels played so well last year. And you brought in Deebo Samuel, but Deebo Samuel is not Deebo Samuel anymore. And he's not the kind of receiver that Terry McLaurin is. Terry McLaurin, if you throw it in his area, he's going to get it. Contested catches, he was number 1 in the NFL the last 5 years. This is what you need with Jaden Daniels. Going into his second year, you got momentum. You got the defending Super Bowl champs in your division. And this is that holdup. This is that hiccup. This is something that could derail bigger dreams that they have. But Terry McLaurin has requested a trade from the Commanders. And I don't know if this heats things up or the Commanders actually go, all right. But here's the problem if I'm a Commanders fan. You're not going to get dollar for dollar for Terry McLaurin. You're going to get draft picks. Because if you're trading Terry McLaurin to a team, you're probably trading him to a team that is a playoff team that might go, hey, the Chargers are a name that came up. The 49ers are a name that came up. The Patriots, a name that came up. I mean, there's going to be teams that will be waiting and seeing what would it cost to get Terry McLaurin. You still have to pay him, but you're going to get a guy who's going to sign a new contract with you, and you'd have him probably for the next 4 years. He probably looks around and goes, okay, Cortland Sutton signed 4 years, $92 million. Well, I'm better than him. We're the same age. Brandon Ayuk got $30 million. I'm better than him. He's not better than CeeDee Lamb. Now you have to take inventory and you have to be honest with yourself. Your agent has to be honest with you and say, hey, nah, I don't think you're there. You're not in Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase category. Now, are you the next level? Maybe. And what is commensurate to your production, your output? But that's a really, really important situation here. Now, you got the Bengals with Trey Hendrickson. He's still on the outside, but at least he's in camp. Terry McLaurin, when you say, hey, trade me, that's a little bit different. Now, once again, this comes down to war of words, leverage, and they could wrap this up, probably in a half-hour meeting and say, all right, I'll take this, I'll surrender that. Next thing you know, Terry McLaurin's in camp. But, the potential for disaster here looms pretty big because Jaden Daniels, you want him to take that next step. Second year, we see quarterbacks sometimes, they take a little bit of a dip. And I would love to keep that momentum the best I can if I'm the Commanders. And sometimes it's a couple of $1 million. And this goes back to what I've said about the Cowboys situation with Micah Parsons. You're probably going to be spending $8 million more than you need to each year with Micah Parsons because you could have gotten him for maybe $34 million. Now it's probably going to be 42. Well, this is where you lose a couple of players. Couple of $1 million here. Now we have to let that guy go. It was a couple of $1 million with Derrick Henry. And I go back to that. Couple of $1 million, you could have had Derrick Henry, who wanted to play for the Cowboys, is from Dallas, wanted to play for you, but a couple of $1 million. But Trey Hendrickson, Terry McLaurin, Micah Parsons, I think all of them get done, but it's only because I've been doing this for a long, long time, and they usually get done. Somebody doesn't get traded, and you have a hold-in, and that's so they don't get fined.
Y'all, something big might be brewing in Dallas. Imagine this with me real quick. CeeDee Lamb on one side, Terry McLaurin on the other, and Dak Prescott throwing darts in the middle of the field to Jake Ferguson. Yeah, it sounds like a fever dream, right? Well, buckle up, Cowboys Nation, because the rumor mill is spinning, and it's got Terry McLaurin in the center of it, possibly landing with the Dallas Cowboys. This trade could turn our offense into one of the most explosive in the entire league, and honestly, it might be what puts us over the top. But is Jerry Jones really willing to pull the trigger on another blockbuster move? And what would it even cost us? Let's break it all down right now on Dallas Cowboys Today. I'm Victor, your favorite diehard Cowboys fan, and let me tell y'all, this story's got me fired up. Alright, so let's start with the basics. Terry McLaurin, the Washington Commanders' star wide receiver, has officially requested a trade. This happened just last week, after contract talks reportedly fell apart. The man wants to get paid, and Washington doesn't seem willing to open the checkbook. McLaurin is entering the final year of his deal, and if the Commanders don't move him soon, they could lose him for nothing. That's why multiple teams are circling. And guess who's showing interest? Yup. Your Dallas Cowboys. According to a proposal originally written for the Steelers, Washington could receive a second-round pick in 2026 and a young, speedy receiver in return. In our case, think of Jalen Tolbert or Kavontae Turpin being part of that package. Maybe even a conditional pick swap. It's a fair price when you're talking about a two-time Pro Bowler with 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Let's talk football for a second. McLaurin isn't just a good receiver, he's a game changer. Last season, with rookie Jaden Daniels at quarterback, he still managed to rack up 1,182 yards and a career-high 13 touchdowns. And that's after years of working with inconsistent QBs like Taylor Heinicke, Carson Wentz, and Sam Howell. Now picture him with Dak Prescott, who led the NFL in passing touchdowns last season and finished top 3 in QBR. McLaurin's precise route running, elite speed, and toughness over the middle would make him the perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb. Lamb is our alpha, no question, but defenses wouldn't be able to double him anymore with Scary Terry lined up opposite. You can't cover both, and that's a nightmare for every defensive coordinator in the NFC. But let's talk money, because y'all already know Jerry doesn't make these kinds of moves without thinking about the cap. McLaurin wants a new deal. He's 29 in his prime and reportedly looking for something in the $25 to $27 million per year range, similar to what A.J. Brown and Jalen Waddle just got. The Cowboys would have to get creative, especially with Dak's looming extension, Micah Parsons' future mega deal, and CeeDee Lamb also due for a raise. Still, if you believe the Cowboys are in win-now mode, and based on the Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks deals last year, they are, then adding McLaurin makes all the sense in the world. We're already one of the most complete teams in the NFL, but that one extra weapon could be what gets us past the Eagles, past the 49ers, past whatever AFC monster we meet in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I said it. This team has Super Bowl potential, but only if we keep pushing the envelope. Look, I'll say it like this. If Jerry Jones wants to go all in and bring another superstar to Dallas, Terry McLaurin might be the guy. He's proven, he's hungry, and honestly, seeing him wear that star on his helmet and burn the Commanders twice a year, that alone might be worth the price of admission. But what do you think, Cowboys Nation? Should we trade a second-round pick and a young receiver like Tolbert to get McLaurin? Is this offense already strong enough as it is? Or should we just focus on keeping CeeDee and Micah long-term? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Dallas Cowboys Today, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a big update. We're bringing you the real unfiltered news, straight from a fellow fan who bleeds blue and silver. I'm Victor, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Let's go, Cowboys!